Years ago, I was changing house, and I was moving out of one house and into another. And as I was changing house, I wanted to make sure that the house that I left behind was in good shape, especially the kitchen. So I replaced the light bulbs in the kitchen. I scrubbed the sink. I did that thing with a dishwasher where you kind of fill it with kind of bleach, and then you run a cycle and whatever, and made sure it was clean. I turned the stove on like 5 minutes, got that thing all clean. I even rented a little buffer because the 1940s green linoleum floor needed some buffing. And the paint color wasn't quite right, and I knew the new people would paint it, and so I actually went to the extent of getting kind of some colors from the paint store designer there who picked some really good colors. I got the 3 little samples, and I put some swatches on there and laid those cans of paint beneath the swatches on the kitchen counter. Well, I wanted to make sure that these owners, this young family, had a spick and span kitchen to work out of as they went about the busy work of unpacking and moving and getting settled into a new neighborhood and a new house. And so weeks later, after the family had taken possession of the house, I drove by the same house, and I noticed that there were no cars in the driveway. There was just this huge dumpster. I walked in the house, no people, just workmen. I walked in the kitchen, totally gutted. Down to the studs. Several months later, I was invited back, and I went into that kitchen, and I sold it to some friends, and you should see the place. It is like out of a designer magazine. Quartz countertops and LED lighting and silk curtains and stainless steel appliances. And there I have been, worried about leaving the paint sample colors on the counter. I had no idea that the owners were planning to do something so transformative, so fantastic, something so amazing to that place. When Jesus meets these Jewish authorities in this morning's gospel, you and I notice that these authorities are obsessed with this question of the afterlife. Like today, Jews are split on the question. Some Jews that you and I know, they don't believe there's anything after life. Others believe, yes, there is an afterlife. In biblical times, a sect that believed in the afterlife was known as the Pharisees. A sect that did not believe in the afterlife was known as the Sadducees. And as the time-tattered saying goes, that's why they were sad, you see. I know, Chris was just nodding her head. Anyway, these Sadducees wanted to know Jesus' take on the afterlife. That's the gist of this. Why? Where does Jesus stand on this important issue? So they asked me this totally outlandish question about some poor woman who had consecutively married these 7 brothers with whom she conveniently had no children and who seemed to expire in chronological order. So this left her a widow, a worn-out widow at that. And yes, at the early service, I wondered if she's a black widow. She made it happen. So anyway, she's then finished. So then the Pharisees asked, she's asked this stumper question, then, right? To whom will this woman belong to in the afterlife? And Jesus seems to answer along the lines of the black home sale story. The Sadducees were expecting the new owners to pick a paint color from the kitchen counter, and Jesus got it replaced. Jesus' answer was that you have no idea what heaven is going to be like. You have no conception of the way the world works as a dimension of creation where the dead are neither married nor given in marriage, where people no longer die but are like the angels fully alive in the presence of God. This shut everyone up, as I love that last line of the gospel, where they no longer dare to ask any other questions. Too often, I fall into this mindset of the Sadducees, unaware of the boundless and imaginative and gracious and capacious life I have and you have in God. Too often I settle for the average, I settle for the mundane, the ordinary, the routine, and I allow the circumstances that surround me to have way too much influence on me. What I forget is the truth, that God has called me out of a life of self-centered fear and confusion and into a life lived for others, where direction and confidence and courage prevail. I forget that the destiny my TV wants me to curl up into a ball worrying about impeachment, the economy, the aggression of foreign governments, global warming, economic inequality, racial division. I'm aware of them, I have opinions about them, but that's not my destiny. I forget that the feelings and future of hopelessness, apathy, and nihilism that are fueling today's diseases of despair, addiction, mental illness, and suicide are not my feelings. Friends, the theme of the gospel and the theme of the day is that God is alive. Now, I know this does not sound very profound, but when you think about it, what does it mean to be alive? It means to be growing, it means to be moving, it means to be going somewhere. This God who is alive is personified by love. As we know, Jesus is love incarnate, and this God loves us and does not want ill for us, but wants good for us. God wants us to know that the person we are is not the person we can be. The stress and anxiety we have is not the peace and contentment we can have. The life we are living is not the life we need to always be living. Because God is working inside you, and God is working inside me to bring about healing and restoration and reconciliation in every area of the universe. God is working inside you and me and this congregation to do amazing work amidst our challenges. Because I know that everybody came here this morning with our own kind of brokenness. We all came with unfulfilled dreams, with failed ambitions, with crushing frustrations and deep, deep desires to move away from the bad spaces and into the good places. And this is this God we believe in, this God who is alive, who is growing and moving us into those areas. And to have a living God who's actively working to bring us up and out into our best selves. And to have hope is to realize that God has hope for you. God has hope for me. God has hope for this community. I am so hopeful for St. David's. I don't think our best days are behind us. They are before us. And that's what's ahead. As we continue our work of refreshing our parish home, we press on with outreach. We're welcoming another 30 homeless folk into our space just this month, later on in a few weeks. And as we continue to try new and unique ministries. And at this time of stewardship, I think it's important to remind ourselves about God's hope for us and God's hope in us. So if you've got a bulletin, close it and look at the back cover, okay? About halfway down, because I think it's really important for us to remember a few things, okay? And what I want us to remember, see where it says why we're here? Together, let's read that. In an increasingly disconnected world, we're here to nurture a warm, vibrant, and caring community that shares Christ's love with all. When Jesus called you and me, it was not to like our own private homes and our own gated communities. It's to discern the gifts within us and to share them with other people. How is God calling you to get more deeper in the game? To get off of the bench and into the arena? We are all aware of the increasingly disconnected society that we live in. I was reading a book this week, and loneliness was kind of next to addiction in terms of the real detriment it can do to a person. There are fewer and fewer places like this out in the world, places that lift up love as a central organizing point, and live and think incessantly about the ways we might share Jesus' love with the world. And so, and I'll read, you don't have to read with me, and so what's it say on the back? So we provide inspiring community building worship. We provide regular, accessible, and practical outreach. We provide welcoming, clean, safe, and open facilities to our community and to our community beyond our walls. Provide thoughtful, caring, and appropriate pastoral care. Provide relevant and meaningful Christian formation. Provide fun, formative, soul-shaping learning experiences for children. Provide social events that foster healthy relationships and seek inclusivity and the healing of racial division. When you fill out your pledge card and you bring it up here to this altar, this is the critical work of the community that you're doing. Our retiring bishop, we had Mass for him yesterday down at the Cathedral at last Eucharist. And one of the things that he always says when he comes here, he tells us a lot of congregations, he says, if your congregation closed, would anybody really care? And I think as you and I think about this, if St. David's closed, we can point to a number of people. We can point to a number of organizations that would be adversely affected if that ever happened. And that's a good thing. Our work in this neighborhood is vital. Our presence in this place is integral to the well-being of our community. And in places thousands and thousands of miles away, people are doing better because of your presence here. And we do this, the final thing on the back of your bulletin there, because we believe. We believe God is alive and working in the world. We believe God knows everybody and wants good for us. We believe God has a specific plan for each of us, and that God wants to make our lives into something much better. Friends, in a day and age when church going is increasingly unpopular, when the societal pressure to shun membership in organizations is on the rise, when Christians are no longer thought of as always caring and generous, but increasingly as judgmental, homophobic, and politically ignorant, we have chosen to come together, you and me, your brothers and sisters behind you, beside you, in the shadow of this cross, and follow Jesus' clear guidance in building a relevant, effective, and I dare say exciting community dedicated to changing the world for Jesus. The challenge for you and me is to expand our vision of what it means to follow Jesus individually and in the community. It's to expand our hopes and expectations for what this parish can become. How are we limiting ourselves, personally and corporately? How are we settling for less? I love that story the rabbis tell about these two guys walking together in some muddy road, and one's complaining, man, look at all this mud, this is horrible, my sandals are getting ruined, and the other one looks up and he sees that they're actually walking through the parted Red Sea. He's like, my sandals, I really had to pay attention. I wonder if that is an image that we need to take away from us, that there's so much wonder and amazement going around us that we can lift up our heads in hope and see what God has and what God sees. How are we setting easy goals for our lives instead of challenging ones? How is God working to give us a bigger vision, one that asks us to think and to act and to risk? Some of us are contemplating taking a chance this morning. And here's something to consider. Most failures are one-time costs. Most regrets are recurring costs. The pain of incorrect action is always shorter than the pain of inaction. You say that again? Most failures are one-time costs. Most regrets are recurring costs. The pain of incorrect action is always shorter than the pain of inaction. In other words, the living God is asking you and me to do living things. That means new and alive, not old and dead. Not predictable and regular, but new and out of the box. When Jesus promises us an abundant life, it's probably something that's new and different. So let's not simply position ourselves for the ordinary and mundane, but let us, through the eyes of faith, see this glorious vision of community built upon worship and outreach and love for all, that is, going forth into the world to do the relevant and life-changing work that Christ has promised to do through us. Amen.